What's up everybody, Couch Mills here, coming at you with a brand new Overwatch video, and in this video we gotta talk about support in Overwatch 2. While DPS and tanks got a lot of new toys and have seemingly flourished in the new Overwatch 2 landscape, supports have been hit with a pretty hard shaft. So we need to talk about how supports are doing, what are the misconceptions around supports, and what is the future for them in Overwatch 2? There's a lot we gotta talk about, but go to the GameLeap website for tips, tricks, guides, and so much more. If you want to level up, do yourself a favor and go check it out right now down below. Now, Overwatch 2 has definitely had some amount of mixed responses, but I think the majority is people have been having a lot of fun. Specifically, the tank role is having a ton of fun with reworked Orisa and Doomfist being very fun to play, engaging, high skill, and you feel like you have a lot of agency over your wins and losses. On top of that, DPS players now feel super activated, where there is far less CC, so divers get to run wild, characters have reworks, and of course, we got the brand new character Sojourn added to the DPS roster, so there's a lot to love about playing DPS right now. Now that being said, the elephant in the room is definitely the supporting role that seems to have gotten the least amount of love and screwed the most from the changes to Overwatch 2. There are many people complaining about it on Twitter, but let's talk about Sleepy, notable support main. He said this, quote, "Not to be a negative crybaby bitch, but man, it's so disappointing and honestly unacceptable that the entire support role gets zero changes and left out with our thumbs in our asses, while everyone else just gets to go to Disneyland with new reworks and heroes." Now that being said, he's not the only one that shares this sentiment. A lot of people are, and if you look at what roles are actually getting filled up in ranked, the only one that has a very quick time is actually support right now, which is crazy. It's like there's a huge shortage of support or people that want to play support. Now, what's the problem with supports right now? Well, the big problem is that there are not that many and two people have to share them. Unlike DPS that has a lot of options, supports don't have a lot to choose from. Still, two people are sharing them, and they got the least amount of changes. When almost every tank in the tanking role got some change one way or another, or even giant reworks, the supporting role is almost identical besides a couple of changes here or there. Now, this can be incredibly frustrating when you're a support, you play Overwatch 2, and you have very similar to the same kit that you had in Overwatch 1, but everyone else got changed or juiced up in some way. You feel like an absolute dog in a lot of matchups. Now, this leads us on to the next question is, are supports actually underpowered? Well, kind of. It depends on the support. I would say to compare to the majority of the characters, the tanks, and the DPS and the ways they got buffed, most supports are weaker than they were before, even with the passive heal change, because the way in which the game has moved has allowed all these other characters to flourish. But I will say the exception is right now Moira and Lucio. These two characters are incredibly powerful when we talk about the passive heal added onto them. Lucio being able to easily just skate away for a single second and he already gets health back means he's very hard to kill. DSP Stanky would have a fucking wet dream, and Moira, similar thing where she not only can heal herself, but she can get out of a dive, and if she doesn't take damage for a single second, she gets to heal. So you have to be constantly dealing damage to a character like that. It's pretty difficult. And these two characters in particular are activated, and the mains of these on support are probably having a very good time because these characters are nuts. But the other supports, not so much. They're kind of shafted. Sure, Ana gets to heal herself. She doesn't take damage for a single second, but dive characters are still gonna burst you down. And besides that, she has a much longer cooldown on her sleep, and she is more or less the same character. I think there needs to be heavy balance in the supporting role because some supports are really benefiting from this passive heal, and other supports it just feels like it should have been part of their kit for the longest time, and it's not anything uniquely special that makes them overpowered. Now, the biggest other problem with the supporting role is that, like I said, there's not enough characters. Realistically, we need like 2 or 3 more support characters like ASAP, and that would really help fill out the role, give people more options, and allow it to be more balanced with the other roles in the game. And I really don't want to see a situation like we saw with Overwatch 1 and the tank situation where they couldn't release enough to make the role appealing enough. They couldn't add in some more interesting characters to play. So they just took away a role. And yeah, I do not want to live in a world of Overwatch 3 where they just delete a support. Come on, man. Just release some more goodies. Really revisit some of the supports that are underwhelming right now, and add some new content to the supporting role. I really think that all of that together is really going to enable the support role and make it a lot less frustrating to play, at least for some of the mains that are outside of Mora and Lucio. But definitely let me know how you personally feel about support. I'm not a support main myself, but I do play support quite a bit, and I do think they need a little bit of help. But I want to hear your opinion about all that down below, and please smash the like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our content and updates. Thank you so much for coming by, and I'll see you later.